Check out this beautiful piece of furniture I've gotten my hands on. They have the keys. They also have they have the wheels, the original wheels that come with it. It's just in beautiful, beautiful shape. I mean, it's not perfect. It's a beautiful piece, I should say. You can see there, you can feel it. There's some definite problems with the finish up here. You can see the bubbling, and you look over here and it needs some cleaning up. That's for certain. But this beautiful glass here, it's in perfect shape. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about the rings and the mess that's in here. But overall, it's just gorgeous, and I can't wait to carefully clean it up. The only thing I'm thinking about, you're gonna get a look at me looking all humid. Hi! See this glass? Yeah, that's a crack. But I don't think I'm gonna replace the glass. I'm thinking, why don't I just attach some sort of spider to it and make it look like sort of deliberate cool web, or just acknowledge that it's there and be okay with it. We're gonna see how it goes. Gotta clean it first though. Okay, for this first part of cleaning this, it's just the most gentle clean ever. You're gonna use plain water, and I'm not even gonna mist that. I'm misting with a towel. I want just a very light. Not hardly wet at all, just enough to make this so this towel's a little bit more absorbent of dust. And that's really all I'm gonna do. Okay, so we have just done the gentle, really thorough wipe down of this beautiful piece. Now, it's time to do a little nourishing cleaning. And what this is the same spray bottle, emptied the water out, and instead now I have 1 part vinegar to 3 parts olive oil. Shaking it up real thoroughly, making sure it's all in there. I am using one of my husband's shop towels, just for the sake of it. Quick spritz on. Wiping it up and wiping it in. Everything I've read now is because this is cleaning and nourishing. They say, you do it and then you leave it for 24 hours and you check it out. You might find that some of it still has like a foggy, dry look to it. Well, that's probably because it just needs that much more nourishment. So we'll see how it goes. I cleaned 2 of these wheels, and the other 2 I have not done yet. Not hard to tell the difference. See how dark this one is here? I have no idea what that is, but it doesn't bother me. I think it's kind of neat, a character thing, so I'm leaving it. Looks pretty good on both sides. Most of all the shelves turned out great, except for one shelf. This shelf had, I'm guessing, maybe it's nail polish? I'm not sure what it is, but I have read enough to know that what you're supposed to do is, how I told you I was cleaning it with the olive oil and the vinegar to not just clean it but also nourish it? Now is the time you take a razor blade and you gently try to scrape that off. You don't want to do it when you first get the wood and it's all dry, because then it makes it so much easier to mar it. You also have to be really careful that you hold it flat, it's down flat, and you do it with 2 hands, and it's very gentle. So scraping this off. Alright, I'm going to keep working on this, but you can see it's starting to come off. It's just a little bit on the painstaking side. Okay, so I scraped it off, but unfortunately, as you can see, lots of flakes on here, but when we clean it off, it doesn't look too bad. And the nice thing is I can now sand this, and because there's some more bumps and stuff up here, it's not the smoothest thing. So now I can give it a light sign and a little bit of possible staining and a nice wax, and it will be back to lovely. Hopefully. But otherwise, yeah, it came out nicely. Hey, so I'm actually cleaning and restoring the back. Again, I'm just using this. It's a restoring oil. I happen to buy this one. I am not familiar enough with enough brands to say, hey, you must use it, or something else is far worse or anything like that. But it happened to be at my store, so that's why I'm using it. You're probably thinking, well, why do the back? Nobody's going to see it. Well, as you can see, it needed it. This side I've done it, this side I have not. Oh, and do you love the fancy cleaning cloth? Yeah, those loose socks you always end up having, the odd socks, perfect. But I need to do this because we want the wood to last longer. This had started to buckle, and I don't know if you can pick it up very much, but it started to buckle, and that might have contributed to the glass that's broken on the other side. Those are the things I want to try to avoid. So I'm keeping the wood nourished. I'm keeping it pliable, youthful. So I'm still working on the absolutely beautiful secretary armoire, but I'm working in our incredibly cluttered filled garage because my husband so kindly put an air conditioner in here, so it's not that humid out here, and it is exceptionally humid outside, and I can open the doors when I need to get the fumes out, but mainly also because this piece, I really didn't want it going out and staying out in the humidity and getting all that moisture in. You do need to take the time to try and get the bottom of these items, because that's where you'll start to see some weaknesses in there. They tried to nail this piece on. I'm going to do some wood glue on that. But the other thing I'm doing that is really exciting me today is putting the wheels back on. I got so lucky. These are, to protect the floors, and I understand why they put them on, but the wheels are so much more useful. And as we have tile floors, we don't really have to worry about protecting them that much. You see where it's already got the hole to take it, so all I have to do is insert one of the wonderful polished wheels I have. I cleaned these up already. I'm not doing much on the metal. I did go ahead and put an oil on it too, just to make it so it's happy and healthy. You go ahead and you slide them in there. Ooh, get some resistance in this one. And you'll hear that click. And that's it. Once you get to that click, it's in. Hey, so now we're gonna try and see what different sealers and top coats can do. Now, I have my personal favorite, which is a water-based, and it's a, basic polyurethane, water-based. I like using that on as many projects as I can. However, I don't know if this has got a lot of oils in it, in which case they're not going to agree with each other, so I need to test that. And then I have the regular polyurethane that's oil-based. Now, the only thing I have a problem with this one is, and this was just one I had laying around, is it is an ultra fast drying, which actually isn't very good, because that means if you have bubbles, it's going to dry fast and the bubbles are going to stay in it. But I'm going to sand it down a little bit. This is the side that has a lot of marring and a lot of mess up. And remember, the reason I'm doing the shelves first is because if I mess up, I'll just always have it displayed on this side. Otherwise it has the bubbling we're talking about that I'm concerned about. So I have everything from a 150 grit all the way up to a 320. This is like baby soft. So I'm gonna give it a sand and see. Hey, I just had to show you this one I'm about to sand. This thing has got some serious injustices happening on it. It needs some serious work. See how you can see all the marring and the marking, and then it's just got great big globs of who knows what. Yeah, and Now, normally I would use a nice big sponge brush if I was doing a massive project, but because we're looking at doing just this tester on this, I knew I had two brushes similar size so I could give them, a fair test. Trying to do just really thin coats, not overcoating it. I think I may have in a couple spots. And now you can roll, you can stir, but never shake. To the first side, it's drying and it's kind of cloudy. Super glossy brush handles. It's weird, this ultra fast drying version, I'm brushing this and seeing more, bristle there. I'm seeing more bubbles. So naturally you would think those are gonna end up being in the finish, and that's not a good thing. Loads of bubbles. So we'll give it time to dry. Really tiny writing. I'm gonna go find a magnifying glass. All right, so I think I've made a decision, and it's kind of surprising because it wasn't really based on the results. Because if you look, you can see in the middle where there's nothing, and then you see on one side, it's really very indistinguishable. Now, this side is a little bit shinier, but if I only had one and not the other, I wouldn't notice a difference. I will say this side, it's so hard to pick up on, but it is a little streakier. So which side is which? Well, this is actually our oil finish, and this is the water-based. And I am gonna go with this one solely because this can is full, this can's almost empty. Because honestly, the finishes were so very minimally different. If I had to go out and buy one or the other though, there's something about this one that had more integrity for the wood itself, and it kind of seeped into it. So it made me think maybe I would pick this one. But really, you had to be super picky to see a difference. So now, to go to the real side, the front side, sand it down so I can get some of those marks out. See how you can see a lot of the marks? That's what I'm trying to get rid of. I'm gonna light sand all of these and then start putting on some polyurethane. Also, I had a little bit of progress with the main piece, the larger piece. I sanded it down in some places that it had some marks, and they were a little bit deeper, so I used some dark finish on it, some dark, stain. I'll show you a little bit more of that. I don't actually have video of it in progress just because it was something that hit me that I came in from the garage and I went, I gotta fix that. And I didn't set up a camera or anything, sorry. Okay, so we've done some sanding, and there was one board so far that's been particularly harsh and banged up, and I had to do a lot deeper and heavier sanding, and it's a tad lighter than what it was. So what do? I'm going to use some stain. This is the product I'm using. Do I have a particular affinity for this product? No, it's just what I found in the store, and it's something I had around the house, so it'll work for this project. My cloths, lint-free. I did another project, and it was using an old t-shirt, so I have some scrap fabric. This is, after all, a stain, so yeah, you got to be careful with this one. And I'm doing it outside anyway because I always work outside, but you especially want to do it with this kind of stuff because it does not smell pretty. Wow, it looks great. Now, I'm gonna give this a while to dry, and then it's time for some polyurethane. All right, at last, it's time. It's here. It's time to varnish. Like I said, I'm going with this one mainly because I had more of it. The results were great. I did though, because now I'm finally doing it for real. I am using my preferred method. And this actually, I do have, you know, a big stand on it. You can also, if you're having like issues with getting into it and you want more space, by all means pour this into another container and it will work great for you. I just don't have that many problems with that. Nice, long, smooth coats. I'm careful of the bubbles. The thing you gotta remember is you're gonna be doing a second coat. So it's better to have light coats and do repeated coats than do thick coats and do less, because then you just have a big thick glob on your hand. Okay, welcome back. It's been 2 hours. These are dry now, and as you can see, they're no longer cloudy. They're actually looking quite nice, and we're still gonna sand them. I know it seems kind of counterintuitive, but if you sand them, it just adheres better the second coat, and that ensures it's just so much safer and more protected, will last longer. The sanding though is super. It's actually called very fine grit. It's a 320 grit, and it's just the lightest sand ever. Just making sure I pass by it, nothing too much. It will at first just bum you out when you see, like, oh no, look it. It doesn't look as pretty as the last one. But again, I'm gonna wipe it off and clean it up. So, they'll dry, we'll do a second coat, and it will look great. But, because I am sanding, even if it's light grit, I'm gonna make sure I wear a mask. Got the sanding done. This is still just vinegar and water that I've been using to clean things. And sometimes, because I just want it to be ever so not wet, I'll just spray it on the, you know, lint-free towel. Remember, old t-shirt will do. Okay, looks like we're good. Gonna do 2 hours to dry and then flip and do the other side, double coats, but it's gonna look exactly like this, so. Yeah. It's being put to use the way it should be. And it looks lovely.